What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have a new week in Destiny 2 right on the doorstep. I was thinking of something sarcastic to say, but actually, this second weekly reset following Edge of Fate may be more interesting than the first because we do have some new event content coming to the game in the form of Arms Week, so there'll be some juicy weapons to chase there, and we'll round up a couple of things worth knowing about it. Otherwise, we get the refresh for Kepler once again with new season challenges, updates to the content that is featured in the portal, as well as opportunities to continue to grow our power, of course, so we'll round up all of those, as well as the return of Trials, bring in some new weapon archetypes, and the rollout of patches coming to Destiny 2 continues this week as well, so Bungie outline a handful of fixes we should expect. Plus, we've got the return of the coil this week, so let's hope, guys, that it's going to be a juicy one. If you do find this video helpful, a rating really does help me on the channel, but now let's get into it. Starting with Kepler, once again, like we saw last week, we will get a refresh on these featured missions. The one actually on the left-hand side does have a chance to drop a tier 4 piece of loot if you complete it on Mythic difficulty. If you're going to do that, be sure to head over to the vendor, the Altar of Relativity, whatever it's called, and focus for anything that you might particularly want to pick up, especially if this is going to be one of your first tier 4 drops in the game. It'd be useful if it's something you actually want, so be sure to do that, and good luck on the hunt. If we do get anything unexpected on Kepler, I'll keep you posted at Weekly Reset. And otherwise, we've got our new seasonal challenges for the week. So initially, there are the datapad objectives here. So there is Solo Datapad Search Part 3, Vanguard Datapad Investigation Part 3, and Datapad Discovery Part 3. Also, there's Pinnacle Datapad Retrieval Part 3. Our survival clearly depends heavily on the retrieval of these, so keep those in mind. Otherwise, there's Principal Performance, deal final blows with primary ammo in portal activities, and there's bonus progress by defeating Guardians, as well as Stranded Ritual, defeat targets with Strand ability final blows in portal activities, and we get bonus progress by defeating Guardians or dealing Strand final blows. And then we have Potent Projectiles to get Guardian kills in Crucible activities with bows, sidearms, autos, scouts, shotguns or swords. Trial by Firing Squad to win multiple rounds in Trials of Osiris, which indeed is returning this week, more on that in a moment. Otherwise, Energy Disruption, where final blows with energy slot weapons will give us progress, and there is a bonus there for defeating Guardians once again. And of course, these help us with things like the weekly ranks, where we can indeed pick up the tokens to get some rewards from Zavala, so they're worth thinking about. Otherwise, on to activity content. Good luck if you're still hunting rewards in the Desert Perpetual. With the weekly reset, of course, we do have new chances for the Whirling Ovation, the exotic from the raid. And otherwise, let's focus on things related to the portal and events just for one moment. So initially, we've got the Arms Week event launching with a focus on hand cannons. Trials of Osiris will also return this week with some new rewards, which we'll go into more details on in a moment. And I assume that it's going to appear here in the Crucible section of the portal, or maybe over here on the front page. Actually, that seems reasonably likely. And then right here in Fire Team Ops, Bungie are adding the Coil activity, so that'll be interesting. They say there'll be 3 different paths to play. My only issue with some of those older activities is that they're actually quite long compared to some of the faster things that we can do in the portal. For instance, the Onslaught ones they added last week, unfortunately, are probably not the best activities to actually choose if you're after getting as many rewards as possible in the shortest period of time, but we'll see how that pans out with the Coil. Bungie also said that matchmaking for Master Fire Team Ops will be enabled starting this week as well, which is useful. And for more specifics for the Arms Week event, Ada 1 will actually spawn here in the shooting range, so that'll be sort of the base camp for this event. There is a new hand cannon, which is the Phenutria Ferra, and it is a solar spread shot hand cannon, so the first time that we'll get our hands on this new archetype. The event will also feature things like exotic rarity weapon mods. One example is fragmentation rounds, where precision final blows create multiple explosive submunitions, so it looks like these will be fairly strong, although they are volatile mods. Basically, they'll be active while the event is active. And there'll be additional focusing for older hand cannons, things like Ostringer, Exalted Truth, Kept Confidence, Luna's Howl, and the Palindrome. And of course, with it being an event, there will be an event home for it. So that will kind of give us all the tips on exactly what to do. And if you want a lot more information about Arms Week specifically, I do have a dedicated video on it, so I will link that one down below. The other new thing coming up, of course, is Trials. Just for a quick mention here, New weapons this time around will include the Aureus Neutralizer. That's another spread shot hand cannon, so we're getting the first 2 weapons in this archetype in the same week. This one in particular will be a kinetic variant. Then there is the Auric Disabler, which is a strand precision frame auto rifle. And we can see the new skin for Trials weapons right here as well. They've also updated the Ayesha's Embrace and the Forgiveness sidearm, so they get the new cosmetic component and presumably roles will be adjusted on them as well. And, of course, we can earn tiered versions of these rewards through Trials and specific challenges. So let me know in the comment section if you'll be diving into Trials when it returns on Friday. Other things worth knowing about this week, on July 29th there will be another update. This will be 9004. Bungie have said they're targeting hit markers not functioning when damaging targets. They're also looking into issues with error codes in the Edge of Fate missions, preventing players from relaunching them. A problem where the Mateudoxia and Wishful Ignorance exotics can't be fully masterworked, and the Heart's Purity ornament floating around the player or not animating correctly. So some smaller fixes there, but Bungie are also targeting a bunch of fixes for ammo. So not all of these changes are guaranteed to drop in the patch this week, but they've said players at the lowest end of the ammo investment, between 0 stats and 0 mods, will see ammo progress faster, providing more bricks. And they accept that the initial tuning for low ammo investment in general was a bit too punitive, so they're also increasing the ammo per brick for some additional weapon types, and buffing the ammo generation stats for some exotic weapons that are lagging behind. And so we'll get some kind of ammo changes for sure this week. Hopefully that will improve the ammo situation in harder content. That's where it's really most noticeable, so I'm looking forward to that update and I'll keep you posted with full patch notes on Tuesday. Over here in the Worlds tab though, of course, featured rotations for things like raids, dungeons, even exotic missions are no longer a thing, but if there are any things you want to jump into, whether they're in the Legacy tab or other elements of the game, they can still drop their rewards. So if there are things you want to chase down from the past, essentially, then that's still an option. And speaking of the past, the Ascendant Challenge this week in the Dreaming City will actually be here in the Strand in Aphelion's Rest, and that's the Ouroborea Challenge. So if any folks are still using those Ascendant Challenges, that's the one for this week, and I'll show the location for how to get to it at the end of the video. For the moment though guys, that's what we have to round up. So as always, I hope the video has been helpful. If it has, then please do us a massive favor and hit subscribe, as around half of my viewers are not actual subscribers. If you want to be kept up to date and get all the juicy details as soon as they land, then you can do that and hit the notification bell. It would be very much appreciated. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in today, and I will catch you guys very soon.